Hi everyone, it's Kaylee from the Healing Sound Arts program. And today I thought I would just check in and talk about where healers work. Now, if you think about it, healers are working kind of all the time. And even if we're in the supermarket or we are at a regular job, because many healers, natural healers, have regular job, or we're just out in public, I mean at the airport, the malls, we aren't doing so much of that these days, but wherever we are, we seem to be the natural healer. So there's another way of looking at this as well, and it's in setting up our space. And when we set up our space, we may set it up in different ways. If we're a professional, we may have an office, okay? And I've been doing this, been working as a sound healer for many, many years, and probably about 15 years now. And I've rented offices that were separate from my home, but I've also worked from home. And mostly I've worked from home with a separate room and a separate space for use as a sound healing studio. And there are pros and cons to all these different ways. But the bottom line of it is that you're always a healer, and you're always walking and moving throughout your life, each moment, each day, bringing your frequency field with you and just being a natural healer. And so I thought I would talk a little bit about how working from home versus getting an office is a little different. And especially since now a lot of us are staying put indoors and we're having to find a way to heal online. So the first thing that I think I want to say about working from home, if you're all of a sudden, at home and you just want to still offer your services, is that it can be a little challenging in that if you don't have a lot of space, like for instance, if you're in New York City, San Francisco, or you're just in a small living situation, you don't have a lot of space, it can be challenging because you've got your equipment. You've got your crystal singing bowls, which are very breakable, and every time you move them, there's a risk that you're going to break a bowl. So that can be, I'd say that's probably the #1 challenge. But if you can just use fewer instruments and make it more simple, because the real message here is that, you're the healer, it's not about the instruments. So just make it simple. Just use one crystal singing bowl, or bring out like a couple bells, or things that are not as breakable, maybe that are smaller, and create more of an intimate, simple form of doing a sound bath, sound journey, or a meditation, or healing one-to-one with your clients online that way. That way you don't have to take things apart every time, put them back together, because I know I've traveled with a whole set of crystal singing bowls and drums and all of these instruments, and it can be really cumbersome when you're just like, you're getting in the car, you're packing up, and you're putting them in the car, and then you're driving to the event, and then you're having to unpack and set up and make the space all clean and clear and nice for the participants. And then after the sound journey, you have to pack up again and put them back in your car, and every time you do that, you actually risk breaking the bowls. So it's actually better if you're just working from home and you have kind of a situation where you can keep them in one spot, rather than taking them down and setting them up every time you do a session. But sometimes it's necessary to do that. So if you're in the city and the spaces are very small there, you may have to go through that. And to me, my preference is to work in an office. And in an office, you can leave everything pretty much set up. And you don't have to reorganize, reset up, pack up, unpack, repack. that kind of thing. And there's less of a chance of the bowls getting broken when they're all in one spot. So now when you work at home, though, you don't have to pay for the space, right? You're already paying for the space, and then you can just use the room that you're using in your home as part of your tax deductions. So you can use part of your rent if you have a room in your home that you're using and you can show that it's a separate space, you can use it as a tax deduction. So if you don't mind sleeping or maybe creating a bedroom / living room space and then using that one bedroom you have as a healing space, you can actually use it at the end of the year as your workspace deduction. So in either case, wherever you are, if you're traveling remotely, if you're working from home, if you have an office, you probably want to consider getting some insurance, because this will cover your crystal singing bowls. This will cover, make sure that when you ask for insurance, you make sure you get something that covers you remotely. So if you're out on site, say you go to a yoga school or a yoga studio, and you're doing a sound bath or something, you're renting a space there or having an event with someone else, and someone falls or your bowl gets broken, the insurance will cover it if you're on site. So you may want to ask about that. What else? So you can use different software as well to work online, and there's no difference between working in person and working online. So you're using Zoom, or you might want to use I don't know, Facebook isn't private, but if you're doing one-to-one session, you probably don't want to use Facebook. But the thing is the energy from your field is what's at play here. That's creating the healing, and the person that's receiving, because they're really healing themselves on the highest level. And so if you're at a distance, I mean, for me, I don't even have to see the person to heal them. I can do all of my things remotely. But because I call myself a sound healer, people expect to be in the room. And that's not necessarily what needs to happen for the healing to take place. They don't even have to hear the sound. You can be working with the energy of the sound. It's more for you to get into that space and then train them into your field. And so that's another concept that I really wanted to mention here, because a lot of people don't think of it that way. They think just because it's sound therapy or sound healing that someone has to hear it with their ears. We only hear between 20 and 20,000 hertz, but there's still vibrations and frequencies moving in and out of our field and affecting us, and we're all linked in mind. And so there's a there's a process, a contract happening. There's a connection there happening. We speak with our hearts without human language. So think about this distant healing thing. It really works. Now you can have a session with someone and you can record it on your phone and they can receive the sound in a digital file. But they don't even need that. If you can get them to understand that you're the healer. But they might like it. That's why people like sound healing. They like to hear it as well as feel it. So I hope this helps you. And if you have any questions about this, please let me know, because I do a lot of videos. I'm also just started a Patreon account, and I'm going to start having classes online for people who are natural healers and they want to bring their gifts online. Or you may be a healer already in a professional setting and you want to learn more about sound healing, and I certify people for that. So check out the link below and let me know what you'd like to see, and please subscribe to my channel and click the like button and share, and maybe we can get a bunch of us on these classes, and you can ask me anything you'd like. So have a great day, be safe, be well, and lots of love to you.